how did you become an artist? Where does it all happen for Jay?
It was all very, very experimental in the early days. It's all still experimental. One thing leads to another. You build from one idea and you go.
Is any part of that youth discovery still informing your art today?
It's constant discoveries. I work intuitively, so when something happens, you build off of that. You're really not sure where it's going to end up.
So would you say it's sort of a dance kind of thing with the camera?
I suppose it is sort of a dance. It's a life. You like watch it grow until it can stand on its own.
Right.
And you send it off.
And you've had many different, it seems that you've had many different vocabularies, because abstract expressionism can be hard for the world to understand. So
yes.
if you had, what kind of vocabulary?
I developed my own vocabulary, including X's and stripes, the dark edges, keep people in the picture frame, helps them focus. And I use the resin, which has that reflective quality that brings the whole atmosphere wherever the painting is into the piece itself, including the viewer brings it right into the piece itself, so it becomes interactive in a way where you can toy with it. It's more of an exercise for the mind.
And do you think the language that you develop, it just continues on? I mean, when somebody approaches this piece, it's kind of an intimate relationship that you're building. Does it matter what they take from it, or are you trying to convey a message?
No, it's key that they put themselves into it. There's no narrative, there's no political statement. People can take out of it what they want. They can put themselves into it and take out, whatever they can, as long as they can engage and there's some sort of something happening.
Do you think that kind of is a responsibility of the artist to get people to engage? Or is there a responsibility for the artist?
I think it's an interaction between the artist and the viewer and the art. I mean, you only have so much control, I think. You have to let things happen. And people are going to think what they want, and you should let them.
You should allow for that to happen.
They can use their own imaginations. That's one of the reasons I don't title my pieces. I don't want to direct people too much, and they should be able to do it on their own.
Well, you took the question. My next question is that you don't title. Everything that I saw was untitled.
Yeah, no, I don't want to direct or interfere with people's imaginations. They can create whatever they want.
So walk me through you approaching an empty canvas. Is there?
It's layer after layer. One color. Each color gets its own layer of resin, and you can build up a physical depth in the piece. There's a certain richness, with all the layers.
Well,
sorry.
So you approach a canvas, you get there. Do you have any kind of idea of how you're approaching a canvas, or is it?
You're usually in a mode. You're working. I work on 10, 20 pieces at a time, and I work a little bit here, a little bit there, and they all develop together. So, and things change slowly. Some will be finished sooner than others. So it's an ongoing process.
So it's kind of like these canvases are talking to each other.
Oh, absolutely. It's a dialogue.
Can you say that?
They're all related. It's a family.
And would you say that this family is where you're at in your head, and that's the kind of, that's where...
Oh, absolutely. You can't help but put yourself into it consciously or subconsciously. You're there. You're the artist.
Well, I mean, that's an interesting thing, because, again, going back to approaching a canvas, so you have had a dreary week. Does that filter, make the darker? I mean, make the red darker, or
Oh, absolutely. What's going on in you definitely affects the energy of the output. Sometimes I feel like I'm just a vehicle, I'm just a middleman in the window. Where it actually comes from, I'm not sure, and it ends up on the canvas. So sometimes I do feel like the middleman, and there's a spirit somewhere, and it happens.
Okay, if it does happen, I mean, what I see, you know, was there anybody that informed your art, or is it all self-taught?
Well, no, I went to college, and you keep looking, you look at art, and it speaks to you. And there's a certain quality that's art been made over time that, you know, you draw off of.
If you had to put yourself historically, where would you put yourself?
Historically,
Yeah.
well, hopefully the world will be going on for a long time, so there's been a lot of art before me, and there'll hopefully be a lot after me.
Well, they do say that there's,
I'm somewhere in the middle.
they do say that there's, this is the most art that's ever been made in the world.
You do have a lot of freedom. You can make anything you want.
But I really want to go back, because it's a special kind of person that approaches art with just their mind. You know, it's like it's psychology. It's Freudian almost. And, I mean, how it was it an automatic transference to abstract expression? Or did you ever try to paint pictures?
Seems like there would be more to offer with abstract than a simple representation of something else. I mean, it's already been done so well. Why copy nature? It's already perfect. So I wanted to build my own world, and painting houses or figures just didn't offer enough. Whereas the abstract world was so open-ended. You could do anything, any idea you could make. You know, you could make fly.
Right.
To a certain degree.
Right. Well, I mean, I'm just.
Well, it was more open-ended. It would fly or it wouldn't. But you know, it offered a lot more to me personally.
Was there ever a eureka moment where you said, "Yeah, this is"? Was there a canvas that you remember that, like, connected you from your mind to the representation?
Oh, there's been moments that you say, "Okay, this is it," you know, and you can tell, you know, you've gotten somewhere. And yeah, it happens.
And if you did have to name any of those canvases, I know that you're very aware of the audience, but if you did have to name, did you ever have a name for any of that experience?
I had a painting called Vortex once that was a real moment for me, a real breakthrough. It was almost like an abstract Van Gogh. It had a real movement, it was really alive. Really, something clicked inside my head. Like, okay, this is a way to go.